Hello, hello.
Oh, I'm muted.
Okay.
Hello. Hi.
I, I like the hat.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's just come in, actually. Glad we have you here. All right, we can start. It's 10, a little past 10, but great, guys. I think people will keep on joining. We can start the webinar. We have over here with us Ankush and Vipin. Before we start and get their wonderful introductions, welcome everyone to Acto's biggest launch yet. I am super excited. I don't know if anyone else is, but I am. It is the biggest launch, and there are very special features and modules we are releasing today for the world to see. So let's start. I cannot wait. Little bit on the agenda. So, introduction for everyone to know who we are, Ankush, Pipin, our special guest, and a little bit about Acto, recap of the launch week this week, why we are doing what we are doing in terms of the launch, and I guess everyone knows that we are launching the AI agent. So, why are we doing that? What's the reason? What's the concept? All of that. We'll get into real details there. Um, some demos for everyone to see how the agents work, how the features work, and some of course Q&A. While we are doing this, please feel free to ask any questions that you have. We would love to have this as an engaging session. Q&A is there, chat is there. Feel free to ask on any of those. Um, Cool, let's start. So, bit of introduction. Um, I'm Ankita. I am the CEO and co-founder of Akto. Akto is an API security platform. Ankush and I co-founded this 3 years ago, and we are having a wonderful journey with some of our wonderful customers and team members and partners. So, I think we've just been fortunate in the last 3 years to have founded this company and growing it, especially this year in the space. With us is Pipin. I would love to, get Pipin introduce himself. He's from Favor. He's an AppSec leader, AppSec and DevSecOps leader. We've known each other for, I don't know, more, I think close to an year now. And he's been a wonderful customer partner for us in the journey. So, Pipin, would love for you to, talk a little bit about yourself and, yeah, introduce yourself.
Thanks, Anita. I am Pippin Wallace. I work for Favor Delivery. It is a kind of a food delivery network in Texas only. We actually are owned by HEB, which is a kind of a Texas only grocery store, but it is a cult favorite in Texas for sure. Um, And on the favor side, we try and be a little more toward the advanced technology edge, and partnering with Akto has been fantastic because they're definitely helping advance the technology space for AppSec. So we're really happy to be partnering with them and working with them.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Pipin. Pipin has been solid in terms of helping us with our roadmap, solid feedback, the features that he wants, everything over there, right? Like in the last few months, we've been working with him very closely and have special things that we'll probably do with Favor this year. So yeah, thank you. Thanks, Pipin, for being part of the journey. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Ankush over here, my co-founder and CTO, and who's behind, and I mean, him and his team is behind all this wonderful modules that we are going to show you today. Ankush, introduction from you.
Yeah, as Ankita mentioned, I'm co-founder and CTO over here. And yeah, I'm here proudly to present what my team has built in terms of AI agents and some other stuff as well. Let's see. I don't want to spill more beans, so I just
Yeah, yeah. No, so I think the whole team, right? Like we are a startup, small team, but the whole team has been working in the last 6 months just doing this. So it's very special to us um in terms of the team. It's been so close to our heart. Everyone is working extremely hard on some of these things. So um yeah, we would love to just show it to you now. Let's see. So little bit more about Akto before we go forward. What is Akto for audience who might be new over here? Akto is an API security platform. We do essentially these use cases: discovery, testing, authentication, and authorization testing is actually a special suite. API security posture management, and newly launched threat detection and protection. This is the new thing that we are launching today, agentic AI. It's all over the news. We today we are talking about it in email, social, everywhere. But what is it? What does it even mean? That we're going to discuss today in the webinar. Okay, so this week's recap, if some of the people know that we this week has been the launch week for us. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and today is Friday. We've been launching new modules, new features, really big stuff. So let's look at a little bit of what happened this week. So day one was because Acto does API security testing, we released 1,000+ test cases. So we've been doing API security testing for 2 years now, but um, your testing is as good as the coverage for coverage of the test cases, right? Like you have all the OWASP API top 10, but it really matters if you have 10 test cases versus 100 versus 1,000. The larger the number of test cases, of course, they have to be sophisticated tests as well. They have to do the coverage that they promise they do. But the larger the number of test cases, the better your API scanning, API security testing tool is. And so we are very proud to announce that we have 1,000+ test cases now in our library that is spanning all OWASP API top 10, including authentication, authorization, and actually, especially authentication and authorization, which is the hardest to automate. Yeah, I'll just pause over here. We will not be showing the demo of this. We'll show the demo of the big reveal that we are doing. But I would like to ask Pippin a little bit about this, right? Like, how does it help him? How does he see these test cases?
This has been fantastic for us. We are a smaller team, and asking for our developers to try and come up with these tests is a big ask because we have a variety of different squads, and they have a variety of abilities and understanding about their APIs. So having 1,000+ has been a huge help for us, and we've also gotten help from you all with some custom business logic tests, which has been super helpful as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Pippin. Yeah, so the idea is, guys, that if if you're either doing pen testing or you're using an automated tool. Now, if you're doing pen testing, you are trying those 100 scenarios, 100 cases. Your attacker is trying those 100 scenarios, etc. So you might as well automate those. And this is the automation. The test cases are really the automation that we have done. Of course, there might be some business logic test cases that you might want to write, which you will have to write in Acto, but that will be part of custom test. The 1,000 test cases are really the things that you are today doing in pen testing, and we have automated it for you. All right, so that was day one. Day two. So day two is API protection. And I want to give you a little bit of context over there. Really, the four Gartner categories for API security is discovery, testing, posture management, and runtime threat detection and protection. And so we have been doing the first three, discovery, testing, and posture management, for last 2-3 years, but runtime protection was something that we just launched. It's been 2 months now. And this is a capability where Acto can detect threats in real time. You can see a little bit over here. There is a blog and demo video about it, which we can share in the chat also, I think, in some time. But what it's doing is really it's detecting threats in real time if there's a malicious attack on your APIs, or if there is any OWASP API top 10 attack in your APIs. BOLA, broken authentication, authorization, any of those things in real time in your production environment, Acto will be able to detect that, alert you, or even block it if you connect it with your WAF. So that the whole piece around not just discovery, not just testing, but actually blocking runtime threads is what we are doing now, is what we have revealed. And so, yeah, so that was day two. A whole new module around API protection. So discovery testing was already there. API protection is the new thing. So so that's that. Pippin, you haven't really tried it. We are planning to start this for you in the next couple of weeks. What are your thoughts? Are you excited? Do you want to try it? What are your thoughts around it?
I'm very excited, and actually to integrate this with our WAF to have it basically automatically protect us is a huge win.
Yeah, yeah. No, thank you. This we've really got to try it for you and show you the power of API threat protection. So, again, very exciting module for us. Um, but let's talk about the new thing. So I've skipped day three, day four, because day three, day four is actually the thing that we want to reveal today. Um, so let's talk about the new way of API security. So, we've been doing traditional way. Everyone is doing traditional way, which is discovery, testing, posture management, runtime protection, the same modules. Um, but what is new now? What is new? What are we doing today? What we are doing from now onwards is everything that we were doing in terms of discovery, testing, posture management, and runtime protection. There is a lot better way to do all of that, to achieve all of that, to give value to our customers in all of that through the agentic way, through the agentic AI way. So it's not that we're not doing what we're doing, but we're doing the same things using AI agents now is the new module. And let's talk more about it, what that means. So the biggest launch week reveal today is actually before that. Let's talk about AI terms and definitions, guys. So um, there is a lot of talk around, hey, LLM powered. This tool is AI agent. This has agentic AI. This has assistant, copilot. And while we are doing this, while we've been working on this, our customers, partners, potential users, people have asked, oh, is Acto becoming LLM powered, or are you adding a co-pilot capability, or you're adding an AI agent? So there are so many terms, jargons, if I may say, are thrown at these things. We have over here Ankush, who can explain actually all of these things. And Pipin, to some words from you. Do you also get confused between these things? Maybe a good time to talk about this now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Please, Ankush, help us.
Yeah. Ankush, please help us understand all of this.
Yeah. Even I've been hearing all of these terms, and as and more like advanced things keep popping up in the LLM world, it's a bit hard to keep up with these terms. But yeah, I think these are the four most used terms today. So I'm gonna go in some specific order. So the first one, LLM powered. I think this is a very generic, very umbrella term. Any uh, any tool or product today for that matter, if at all they are using LLMs in any sort of way, they can call themselves LLM powered. It could be a very sophisticated thing. It could be a very simple thing where the application just throws the entire data to the LLM saying, summarize it for me. And the LLM summarizes it, and it's like one prompt shot, and you return a response and you show it to the user. Well, technically it is LLM powered, right? Right. So that's there. Uh, yeah, when someone says LLM powered, all you can assume is they're using LLMs in some sort of way, like it's there. Um, the next thing, I think that's the one we are most familiar with, assistants and copilots. We have all seen GitHub copilots. We have all seen assistants. These are a bit advanced. The idea over here is they usually assist the user in doing some sort of a task that that involves a lot of steps, or uh, it's it's repetitive, those kind of things, or it could be a simple Q&A sort of a thing. Hey, tell me what all tasks are pending for this week. Great, that's a copilot for you or an assistant for you. Uh, I think many products are offering this today. This is a very good help to all the users because they just help You can ask a lot of questions to assistants and co-pilots and have them return you some good answers, summarized answers. And in some cases, like GitHub Copilots also execute, code refactorings and things like those in place. You can't expect much from them. Like they can't execute big projects or sophisticated projects, but yeah, small tasks here and there, they should be able to do it
Yeah, so
well.
a good
Um,
example is GitHub Copilot, right, Ankush?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, GitHub Copilot. Uh, if I mean, you can quickly go to GitHub Copilot and say, "Hey, why don't you summarize this function for me? I don't understand what it's doing." Something I come across very frequently. Uh, and then you can say, "Hey, I want to write a function which executes these 5 steps. Can you help me write it?" And GitHub Copilot will write that function for you. That's essentially what a Copilot is.
Yeah. So Copilot is very helpful in, answering some of your questions, doing bit of task, but or actually giving you instructions, but not really is not able to execute something, right? Like the famous thing that you say is
Hmm.
not an executable.
Yeah, yeah. It's correct, correct. It's gonna give you information. It's gonna uh but yeah, that's all it can do. Like it cannot execute stuff for you. It cannot work for you or work in instead of you, if I may say that. Which brings to the third point. The third one can. Uh, so an AI agent is it's supposed to be it's supposed to have some sense of it should be autonomous. It should have access to some external tools. Those tools can be as simple as an API, access to a weather API, or access to your file system, or access to your company documentation, something like that. But yeah, it should be autonomous. You give it a goal and some set of instructions, and it's going to go towards that goal following your instructions, which should be like clearly defined. In between, it might decide to use a few tools, like as I said, like some APIs you have given access to, or some sort of documentation, and yeah, it's going to execute some tasks for you. Again, it's hard to expect to build really like uh, expect them to execute large projects or sophisticated projects. But yeah, they are definitely somewhat better than Copilot or assistants, I must say. They have access to some external tools. They have some sense of autonomous work there, and they given a set of instructions, they can execute the instructions really well and work towards like a predefined goal. So we are going in increasing of sophistication over here. LLM powered could be a simple, like just ask a question and get an answer sort of a thing, whereas an AI agent has knows what steps should be executed to achieve a certain goal, and it can work towards that goal. Um,
So, okay, so
and the
iterate that. So what you're saying is starting from LLM powered to AI agent, basically the sophistication is increasing and the ability
yeah,
to perform sophisticated task is sort of increasing as we go from 1 to 4, right?
yeah, definitely, definitely. Which brings us to the last thing, agentic AI, and that's like the newest, most state-of-the-art thing. This has, I mean, in terms of uh, like being autonomous, this has the highest degree of being autonomous software. And here it doesn't follow just like a preset list of instructions you give. It can actually do a lot better. It can generate its own like sub goals or intermediate milestones, sort of, and make decisions based on what are the responses or what are the summary of each step it's executing, and it can adapt its behavior while keeping that eventual goal in mind. Um, and here is where you might run into questions like, hey, what if you you keep letting it work? Like, would it keep on uh, would it keep on going forever? Like, would it keep on
Yeah.
thinking and thinking and thinking? So you have to put in a lot of controls to bring it back to like execution mode. Uh, yeah, I mean, we also do that, right? Sometimes we go into some thinking mode and we just totally lose the sense of time. And uh, so you can imagine that sort of a thing. So yeah, definitely a higher degree of being autonomous. And uh, as I said, like here, the idea is more to tell agentic AI how to set its intermediate goals then actually give a preset like list of instructions. So here is where you see a lot better results. Again, you have to put in controls so that it can think correctly and create those goals correctly. Yeah, but if done really well, they can execute large chunks of tasks and automate like a large chunk of work for you.
Got it. So, Ankush, the big difference basically between AI agent and agentic AI for the audience also is that AI agents are running independently, sort of. They're doing the same task, but they're running independently, while agentic AI is actually a network of AI agents who are
Yeah,
communicating with each other. Correct?
yeah, definitely, and that's a big part of it. I think by definition, it says that it should not follow like a preset list of instructions. It should have like intermediate goals, and in order to achieve those intermediate goals, it can definitely use other AI agents as well. So, like the way an AI agent can use external tools, imagine an agentic AI can decide which AI agents to use
Got
for
it.
its intermediate goals. Yeah.
Wow, heavy terms over here. But I guess, I mean, we discuss this all the time in the team. Pippin, what do you think? What are your thoughts? Like, is it more clearer now in terms of definitions?
Yes, and I love, you guys are basically kind of on the cutting edge of things, making sure that you're leveraging the latest tools. This whole ecosystem of LLMs is just kind of exploding, and you guys are at the forefront. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thanks, Pippin, for being our supporter over here. Okay, so let's dive deep into this, right? Like, what does it mean? And it will become more clear as we go into the presentation and demos. Guys, today is the day, agentic AI. So Akto is not doing LLM powered or Copilot or just the AI agent. We are doing agentic AI. So this is really the network of AI agents that we are building, we have built, and we are showcasing to the world. Um, and we'll show the demo of this. What we have done is think of Acto as or this module as really your agentic AI experts, API security experts. These are your extended team members. So maybe you can will see over here also. These are all, they have persona, they are AI agents. This is part of the dashboard itself. And they are literally your persona, they are your team members who are working on behalf of, like a not behalf, but really supporting the AppSec team in any of these functionalities. So we've launched 6 AI agents so far, and the plan is to launch lots of those, like 20 plus or something. Ankush can correct me if I'm wrong. But this is the time, this is the moment, guys. We've launched agentic AIs, not AI agents independently, but agentic AI experts for the AppSec teams. Um, what do they do? I'll give a little bit on the demo as well, but maybe Ankush, couple of thoughts from you over here on the concept. I know we've been working for last 6 months on this, but let's talk more about the concept over here.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I think a lot of the things that you see over here, uh, if security team members are seeing this, you must be doing a lot of this stuff already today. Like for example, take the simplest example, a sensitive data type scanner. I mean, everyone worries in their APIs, is there any sensitive data being exchanged? And if yes, what is it? And sure, email address, IP address, they're standard. Every tool can tell you, this is sensitive data. But what about your business specific sensitive data? For that, you got to go and look at yourself. You got to go open each and every API schema and see, hey, is there a payment confirmation ID I'm leaking somewhere? Or is there like some sort of a transaction ID or a customer ID that is going out as part of the API response, which I don't know about? And there is really no way to do it automatically, right? Like because it's business specific. It's you have to go and look yourself. Like it's not something publicly known like an email address and an IP address that you can associate a pattern to. So so yeah, there is an agent. You don't have to do it yourself now. There's an added team member. There's an extra agent that can do it for you. Just switch it on, and this agent can tell you, is there any sensitive data, standard or non-standard, whichever, in your APIs or not.
Yeah, in some context over
Mm.
there, guys, a little bit about the story, how we thought about it, why we are doing this, all of that. I think back in December, we were thinking really hard about, of course, we were using LLMs in the product, to improve all the functionalities and give more value to the customers. But we were really thinking, what is that thing that we really want to give value in terms of API security or AppSec use cases? We didn't want it to be, LLM powered only. We wanted you really to give executables to the customers. We wanted to give uh, power in the code. We wanted to give them the power so that they don't have to now juggle with the rules. And for sensitive data also, for example, Ankush mentioned, hey, there's a sensitive data type scanner. Now, what happens today in every single security tool that you use, including Akto, actually, we have regex and rules in terms of sensitive data in our dashboard, 100 plus data types, and that's how we are finding sensitive data in APIs, which is great, which is the best solution possible if no AI exists. Now we have AI, now we have LLM models, which means you don't have to create those rules. You don't have to create rules for anything in terms of testing, in terms of sensitive data, or any in terms of finding vulnerabilities, nothing. You have to just give your data to AI. Yeah, asking for too much, giving the data to AI, but you have to give the data to LLM to be able to find sensitive data that LLM thinks is sensitive. You are not supplying that information. Right now, I mean, from the tool, you're expecting, hey, give me SSN, give me credit card information. LLMs already know credit card and SSN is sensitive. It's PII. And your APIs, if they are exposing sensitive data, is a problem. So what LLMs is doing is it's literally not like it's removing all the rules. It's helping you find all of the vulnerabilities and sensitive data and everything else with very little context, with because it already has a lot of context that is coming from the data itself. It'll become more clear in the demo, but that was the concept, and
Yeah.
that's what we built on. We wanted something to be more like an extended team for the AppSec team, not just like an AI agent that you build, but it's more like, hey, you can. This source code analyzer is actually a persona. It's a person in your dashboard who you can hire for this task of source code analyzing, or
Yeah.
for that matter, vulnerability scanning, and so on.
Yeah, I think vulnerability scanner is also a very good example. So, I mean, a lot of the security engineers, security team members do code reviews. And what's the one thing you would want to do in code reviews? Find out if there are any insecure practices that are there in the code, or someone missed a authorization check in an API while implementing a new API. There is an AI agent for that now, which can review your code, understand if any API, for example, is missing an authentication or an authorization check. And all of this is happening just by analyzing the source code. So this kind of a thing, again, one of the functions that security teams do, and they can now like deploy a new team member, the vulnerability scanner AI agent for that purpose.
Yeah. I think it'll become more clear once we get into the demo. And I think Pippin, for you also, demo will be the first time, but I would love to get your thoughts around this. So let's start with this. The age. So we have multiple agents, but I think we're going to give you a demo for 2 or 3 if time permits. Let's see them, right? AI agent for API discovery. Let's do that.
Mhm.
Um, so this guy, source code analyzer, is an AI agent for API discovery, and we'll show the demo now. Ankush, if you want to share your screen,
Yeah, just give me a moment.
or maybe I can keep sharing and you can share over it.
Just Yep, I have it.
Press that.
Share.
Yeah, can you share?
I think you will have to approve my request to share.
I allowed. Yeah.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
All right. Uh, so let's start, and I might take some pauses over here. Let me see. So what's the first one that you're presenting? API discovery from source code, right?
Let's do that, or
All
in
right.
anyone in any order. It's fine.
It's, let me just download the right one.
And I think there are good questions on chat also, which I'm trying to answer, guys. There is a question around how is my data being used, and are you using public foundation models or private? The answers are also going to come towards the end of the slides, but your data is not being used. Simple answer is your data is not being used to train the models. It's used to give you answers, but not to train the models. Are you using public foundation models or private? Maybe Ankush can give this answer also. We're using,
Yeah, we are using yeah, we are not using our own models. So in fact, it's a plus point that you can bring in your own model, or if you have your own like model hosting, we can definitely use your own private model as well. It's just to answer, we are using like publicly hosted models.
yeah. And yeah, I will type in the answer, Ankush, while you present this.
You can see my screen, right? The source code analyzer, just confirming again. All right. Yeah, so this is how the agent starts. You can you have to again we have already provisioned access to the GitHub repository and everything. So the agent knows that there is a GitHub or a GitLab or a Bitbucket connection present, and you can now enter your repository name and the project name. uh, it's gonna, as I said, like it's gonna set some intermediate goals and then try and achieve, like create an API inventory out of the source code. So the first thing, you have to locate all the backend directories which might be implementing all the APIs and API definitions. Um, at each step, whenever it thinks a goal has been achieved, it's gonna take an approval from the user. You can review it, make sure it's all right. For example, over here, it's trying to find out which framework and language is being used for Juice Shop. Uh, there you go, Express framework and TypeScript. Again, as a user, you can simply just approve or even change the if in case you think you can improve, you can help the agent, you can change it. But yeah, you can see just a while ago, it was able to find out these many APIs right from the source code. This is quite neat. And now, after we find all the API paths, the next thing is to find schema for each of these APIs. So yeah, we are not stopping at just finding the URLs of the APIs, but we are going to go ahead and find out the request and response schema for each API. Again, just by looking at the source code. So here we'll just approve, and we'll let it find out schemas for all the 60 APIs. Um, and yeah, this is where the model is going to read your source code. It's going to understand where are all those classes and types defined, and going to go ahead. Yeah. So it has finally created schemas for all of the APIs. And if you choose to accept this solution, if you choose to accept this, it's going to automatically create an API collection with this name in your Akto dashboard that you can, for example, over here, the one that you see over here, this is constructed completely from source code. And here you can see, for example, this get API has 5 parameters in the response, nothing in the request. There is also a get basket API, for example. I think this API is supposed to give you all the details of the basket. Yeah, again, 31 response parameters. The exact schema is out there now with you. Something that used to take like months and quarters for teams to get these API definitions from engineering teams and engineering managers now is just like 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
So that's the power of agentic AI for you.
Yeah, no, this is magical. And I think just to give context also, but there is today teams, if they are not using Acto, it will take them time for developers to write these APIs, or ask developers. AppSec teams will ask developers to give them the Postman collection or Swagger file, or try to find those API endpoints in the code. Uh, before AI agent, what Akto was doing was discovery from traffic, which we are still doing, discovery from traffic and discovery from code without using AIs. Now we have a solution where we, in addition to everything that we were doing, we are also using AI agents to find APIs from code. Why does that matter? That matters because using the AI agents, the results are much more accurate, faster, easier. We are not going language by language anymore to discover your APIs. Literally, LLMs understand all your languages and frameworks, so it's able to find those API endpoints from your code pretty easily, much faster way in and much more accurate. So that's literally magical for at least me to see. And when I saw this, Pippin, your thoughts over here, how do you interpret this as an AppSec leader?
Well, especially one that, has a small team and would have to, reach out to all the squads in order for them to, help us build this. Um, this is amazing and helps us endlessly. So, um, thank you.
Oh, no, this is awesome, Pippin. Yes, I think let's uh, uh, let's see one more. This was API discovery. This is something that we've been already doing. The interesting thing is the API vulnerabilities um, from code. I think Ankush, let's do the demo
Yeah,
for.
yeah. Just gonna open it.
So this is going to be the second AI agent, guys. API vulnerabilities from source code.
Yeah. So this is. I hope you can see my screen. Um,
Yes, we can.
all right. So let's start again. Similar process. You give it a repository, and now instead of discovering the APIs, we are now going to discover if there are any vulnerabilities or insecure uh, code practices happening for the implemented APIs. Uh, so a similar thing, it's going to find out what is the backend directory, and here is the big shout. It's going to find out where is the authentication implemented for all the APIs, because that's a big piece to first understand uh, where could broken authentication or authorization issues could be. So typically, like over here, it sees that there is a possibility of an authentication middleware, and that's what it found out in Juice Shop. Once you know where is the auth middleware present, you can now see is that auth middleware being referred correctly by all the other APIs or not. And yeah, so that's your pathway into finding broken authentication issues, broken authorization issues. If there is an API input parameter that is being used in some database query without sanitization or without any proper input validation check, that's an input validation problem. Could leave you for you know command injection attacks and everything. Um, in case there's a search API and your API returns like a certain set of results, and you don't check the limit of the result size, there could be like a pagination DOS attack or an application DOS attack on those APIs as well. We are going to add more and more vulnerabilities to this analysis, but yeah, you can already see like a bunch of uh, really nasty ones that are there in Juice Shop that it automatically detected. So broken authentication, broken authorization, uh, finding out where is your auth middleware or how many auth middlewares are there in your entire like API set. Again, something that teams struggle a lot with. It's again now just a click away.
Got it. Okay, so quick question on this, Ankush. So we are able to see you ran the AI agent. The AI agent scanned the
Mhm.
code and showed all of these API endpoints with the vulnerability. So all the green ones are actually all good, but the
Yeah.
exclamation mark. So there's BOLA in the first one, input validation in the second and third one. There's fourth one, BOLA. So all of these are vulnerabilities that the agent found in code in APIs
Yes.
without
Yes.
input validation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
So this doesn't need any staging environment. This doesn't need any active API runtime where you want to hit the request. This is just purely through source code analysis.
Wow. So this is magical. Now, Pippin, I want to hear your thoughts. We've discussed this that writing rules is hard or doing all of the testing that we do today. I mean, it's all good, but it's generally hard to write those tests, right? Like now you don't have to do this. What's your thought, Pippin?
Um, well, my thought is not to copy the juice shop code and use that on my site. It looks it looks a little risky. Um, I I absolutely love that. And for us to, be able to basically give this directly back to the developers and just have this as a feedback loop is phenomenal. Um, because they know this better than, the security practitioners typically. So um, I feel like this is just going to, really speed up the um, the addressing of issues and help that learning process. Like, if it's in CI/CD even, and they've written something that is vulnerable, they get that feedback right away, and they're like, "Oh wow, I shouldn't do that anymore." And so,
Yeah. No,
a
the
huge thank you.
awesome. No, Pippin, that's exactly the idea, right? Like not to just do testing or, in the dashboard, scan the APIs. It should be within the IDEs. It should be within the CI/CD pipelines. It should be where the developer is, right? Like on all the developer tools. So that's the idea. That's the next step in the process. But yeah, so for everyone in the audience also, Acto was doing all this and is doing all this today in terms of without AI agents, in terms of testing in your staging environment, in your QA environment by running dynamic tests. But what Ankush showed just now is the ability to find all of these vulnerabilities even without doing dynamic testing in your code itself through analysis using AI agents. So we are able to find BOLA without having to do dynamic test or running all those scans in a runtime environment. So that's the power of AI agent. We're able to do this only because of AI agents. It was not possible before that. So this is, at least for me, this is very, very magical. Okay, so Ankush, I think just in interest of time, I don't think we have time to do more demo for AI agents. We can probably just move on to the next session. I'll just share my screen. Okay, hopefully you guys can see my screen. So yeah, we saw this AI agent for API vulnerabilities in code. We were supposed to give you demo of sensitive data agent also, but just in interest of time, we don't have that much time. It's supposed to be a 50 minutes webinar. I do want to cover these things. Guys, so maybe quick recap also. Yeah, so agentic AI API agentic AI expert for API security. We have all of these experts, or if I can say AI agents or team members in your dashboard once you get the access to it. Um, Everything that Acto is doing will remain in the dashboard still, just that this screen will be added to your dashboard. In fact, this screen will be added to your dashboard once you get access to it. You still get APIs from traffic. You still do testing in your staging environment through everything that Acto has. This is something that we'll experiment with. We'll add more and more functionalities in AI agents, and slowly everything will be sort of AI agents powered. Um, okay, let's go into the secure AI FAQs because they were questions in Q&A. I just want to cover these. And I think Pippin, you asked this, right? You asked this. Everyone is asking us about all this, and this makes sense, right? Like we are also a company we are also a security company, and we also help people do LLM security through our LLM security tests. So we want to make sure that everything that we are using in terms of LLM models for your results is secure. We are doing it in a secure way. Everything is secure, right? So some FAQs I've written, some you can, anything you can ask over here. So people have asked, I do not want to send data to LLMs. How can I use Acto? So here are the three ways you can do that. You can bring your own model if you want to. You can bring your own API key. We have our own private OpenAI tenant, which doesn't share data outside. So if you don't want to do any of the above two, third is also there. So this is typically the way all the AI agents in the world are being used today. I mean, all the big companies who are doing AI agents, ServiceNow, Zendesk, Salesforce, I don't know, cursor.ai and all of that. All of these guys are doing these standard ways. So we are also following the standards that the world is adopted. So yes, your data is secured if you follow any of these three things that we are offering. Um, do you use our data to train LLM models? Somebody also asked this question, and I'm glad I have it in my FAQ. No, we don't. We don't. We have no need to use your data for LLM training, so we don't. Um, how do you ensure? I think there's a you missing. How do you ensure AI doesn't hallucinate? Maybe Ankush, this is the answer is here, but we can probably discuss this more for you to maybe answer.
And this has been a very big problem, right? So we have like tested this a lot, and a lot, I mean really a lot, and make sure that AI, whenever AI is executing uh, its goals or its intermediate goals, it doesn't just wander anywhere. It always knows what the objective is. It always gets reminded about what it has to do, and then come back to the execution layer. So yeah, it's just improved prompts, a lot of fine tuning of the prompts, of the steps it has to execute. Uh, and yeah, there is always like a fail safe in this execution, where if it just wanders somewhere, it comes back to the right place. Every time it assesses and produces a result, there is always a second check to understand, to cross check whether the result is right or not. And if in case the result is not right, it goes back and tries it again until it gets it right. So with every result, with every intermediate goal or mission achieved, uh, it gets cross checked, and only then it moves further. So
Yeah. I mean, there's a story to it, right, guys? It doesn't become magical from day one. We started it 6 months back, as I said. We, of course, saw LLMs hallucinating, and there were lots of, problems while we were developing this. But over time, we sort of minimized those problems. As Ankush mentioned, hallucination and actually accuracy is are two pillars we are really focusing on. So we took our
mhm.
time to launch this because we wanted to make sure what we are launching is actually good in the world. So now we have a model which doesn't hallucinate 95% of the time. I think 95% just to be on the safe side. We
Yeah,
have more than that.
yeah.
Yeah, so Pipin, I think these were your questions. I really want you to ask this question, the accuracy, because you mentioned, I mean, like everyone, right? There is perception that, yeah, you can use LLMs, but how are they going to give you value? That kind of thing, right? So maybe, yeah.
Well, I think the big thing here is that, it's you guys are so responsive to, anything that's going on that might be, a little off the mark, that I'm not concerned about, that accuracy, because I know you guys are just going to nail it. And, I'm proud to be a part of, that growth. But your responsiveness and dedication is just phenomenal. Really helps me to well, just celebrate our partnership, and I really appreciate that. So, I realize that LLMs are constantly being rolled out, new foundation models, and these new foundation models, there are issues with that, but uh, I know you guys are going to stay on top of it. So that doesn't concern me.
Thank you. Thanks, Vipin. No, but I was honestly really appreciate that, Vipin. I mean, you've been a fantastic partner, customer for us. So we of course, Ankush is running the team that you're talking about, but would we love to support you. In terms of accuracy, guys, think of this. Like you saw ChatGPT 3 years ago, and I talked to Pippin about this a couple of days back. You saw ChatGPT 3 years ago. It was pretty basic, and now you see ChatGPT today. It is doing phenomenal things. It's really giving great answers to pretty much everyone is using it every day. I cannot think my life or day without ChatGPT or your own LLMs, maybe Perplexity or Claude or whatever you're using. So think of it that way for AppSec or for any world that you're living in. If you're living in AppSec world, and this is what we are building for modern AppSec teams, if you're really trying to increase your productivity, improve the things that you're doing, modernize your tech stack, you really got to use the AI agents. I mean, it's not 100% perfect for anyone. I mean, even today, for us also, it's 80% accuracy. What are we aiming for though? We are aiming for 95% by end of April. Can we do it? Definitely we can do it. But it will require a lot of work, a lot of training, a lot of understanding how LLMs work before we can do that. So that is the path we are seeing in 2025 that every team will take. People will want to use AI agents for their work, but people will continuously trying to, they will try to improve it. They will try to make sure it doesn't hallucinate, the accuracy is great, the usability is simpler, easier, and all of that. So so that's the path I want to leave people with. The last thing, I think this is extremely important because everyone asks, hey, why do we need this? And we are already doing our AppSec work that we are doing, but this is critical, guys. Very, very critical. If you are a modern AppSec team, and how do we define modern AppSec team? A team that is really trying to use the newer technology, the newer tech, a team that's modernizing the AppSec tech stack. If you are part of that, if your goal is to modernize your tech stack, AI agents should be your number one priority, period, today. If you're doing that, you're pretty much modernizing everything that you're doing. Why? Why? The reason is everything that you will do with AI agents, I'm not talking about LLM powered or copilot, that's fine. That will give good value also. Everything that you will do with AI agents in your modern apps tech stack will be 10x to 100x value in 2025, in this year. So it's, if you are that team, you are better off starting today versus starting later in the year or next year or something. So this is today. Why is it better? Saves ton of time with much better contextual and accurate results. So somebody, I think 3 days ago, was asking me why AI agents. You're already doing what you're doing. Um, our goal is to provide our customers lot more value than today, than yesterday, than day before, right? Like every day we want to keep on improving. And the best way for us to improve that value, to increase that value, to broaden that value is through AI agents. So it's better, contextual, and gives more accurate results. Easier to implement than traditional tools. It tunes into your business context, which is extremely hard without LLMs, like almost impossible. I can tell you if you don't use AI. No manual rules, only simple English. I think Pippin had this feature request, which we are going to take, but it was amazing, right? Like his biggest pain is, why do we have to write those rules? Why do we have to write rules in SAST or DAST or API scanning or API security? Any kind of AppSec tool. And he's right. He's right. Why should we write rules or policies, right? Like Ankush and I have this problem also, that we are giving people the way to write rules, but actually there should not be no rules, right? There should be no manual rules. You should be able to talk in space simple English, and it should be able to do your task. So he has this feature request where can I say something and it can convert into text, and that text can do the AI agent can take that text and take my instruction and do the execute the commands. Yes, we want to do that. That the speech to text is possible, is definitely possible. But the main thing is, can we write simple English language instructions and LLMs can take it and do what we want them to do? Yes, that is the goal. That is how it should be. You should not have to learn a YAML rule or a YAML language or a code QL language or different other language to write a rule. It should be that easy. So that's really the reason why you should be using AI agents in 2025 if you are an AppSec team, a modern AppSec team, not a traditional AppSec team. So highly recommend that. It is the future of modern AppSec. All right, so 10:56. So I just want to make sure that we are ending at the right times. Right time. So schedule a customized demo if you want to, acto.io/API security demo, or you can go to the homepage. There's a book a demo button and we will respond to you. Somebody over said that they messaged and we didn't respond. I'm sorry if we didn't. We'll get back to your request and respond. Request early access. Yeah, you can email us directly also to request early access, and we can talk about how we can give that access and how your use case can be solved. So that's it, guys. But thanks for being here. I guess I hope we have answered all the questions. Let me just check. There's no open question. Great. Ankush has answered those. All right. But thanks, guys. Thanks, Pipin, for being here. What a lovely guest. What a lovely customer. What a lovely partner. Thank you for being in our journey. And you're going to get all of these from next week onwards.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for being the phenomenal partner that you guys have been. And I'm super excited about 2025 with you.
Yeah, Akto and Favor together. Thank you. Thanks. Thank you, Pipin. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.